Hey, you there?
Are you looking for information during a middle of the night feeding session?
We have decades of experience on this topic.
Here are all the things that you wanted to know.
I, for one, get this question a lot. Should I start collecting my breast milk early to collect colostrum? This is not something that you necessarily have to do, but especially if you know that your baby may need additional support when they're trying to lower their bilirubin levels, it's a nice way to have some breast milk on hand. We typically don't recommend starting this until you're at least 37 weeks or early term because this can cause you to have some uterine irritability. Because you're stimulating the oxytocin receptors in your brain, your uterus may contract and we don't want to send you into preterm labor. How soon after birth should I start pumping to build my freezer stash? This is a great question for a breastfeeding specialist.
Everyone is different. I generally recommend if you are going back to work soon, try to get used to your breast pump. Since we want to give baby a milk around 4 or 5 weeks old, that is the time where you can start to get more familiar with your breast pump.
As a pediatrician, I get a lot of questions about feeding, like, am I feeding my kid too much? It is impossible to overfeed a breastfed baby. Unless your pediatrician tells you to, try to stay away from obsessing about feeds. We always look at the child and not at the number on the scale. What about keeping enough in my freezer stash? Can I both feed my baby and make a freezer stash? I can share that you can't overfeed a breastfed baby, but let's go back to Nicole.
Is it normal for me to be this stressed out about feeding my baby? This type of stress is natural for first-time parents. But if you find yourself feeling like you need more support, I know someone who can give you more insight.
Postpartum stress and adjustment is very real, especially when you're a new mom. Here's some things to remember. Please know it's okay to ask for help. How do I balance what all my mental health needs are and also all the things that I want to be able to do for my baby? Balancing everything is really hard. You've never learned how to sleep with a baby. You've never done that before. So now you have to learn. Babies get up often. They eat a lot all evening long. They want to breastfeed constantly in the evening. That's okay. That's normal. They're storing up for nighttime. Don't try to hold them off. Let them eat. And then they'll let you sleep a little longer at night. It's perfectly normal and common for a baby to wake up every 2 to 3 hours during the day. And maybe at night you might get a longer stretch, like maybe 4 to 5 hours. And that's wonderful when you're a new mom because you are so used to sleeping all night, getting 8 hours of sleep if you wanted. Now suddenly you are waking up frequently. And don't feel guilty about that. In fact, please ask for help. Besides eating, sleeping, and going for a walk, please ask others for help. Is this something I should tell my OB?
I'm an OB. I'm scared about being put on meds. Will this affect my breast milk? Overall, antidepressant medications are very safe with lactation. Your own healthcare provider may be able to look up your specific medication for breastfeeding so that you can feel reassured about taking this medication. What about my baby? Am I going to affect my baby's brain development if I'm on psych meds? Overall, these medications are very safe even when they do transfer to your baby, but you should definitely consult with your own pediatrician when it comes to the specific medication that you are taking. I know a pediatrician who can help.
I think it's really important for parents to recognize that their mental health is important. A happy mom means a happy baby. If the question that you're worried about is, will this psychiatric med affect my baby? I will tell you that a lot of them are safe. A lot of them have been studied. You want to work with your pediatrician and your OBGYN and maybe even a reproductive psychiatrist to figure out which medication is the right one for you. But I don't want you to worry that every single medication is going to put your baby at risk. Feeding my baby hurts. What am I doing wrong?
I can answer that. Breastfeeding should not be painful. If breastfeeding is painful, there is something going on wrong with a latch with the baby. Maybe the baby's not opening their mouth wide enough. Maybe there's a tongue tie or a lip tie that needs to be looked at, that maybe needs to be revised. But when a baby has a good latch, it is not painful to breastfeed. No matter what anyone else has told you, it is not painful. Anytime you're having trouble with breastfeeding, please reach out to a lactation consultant. They know what they're doing. Sometimes reaching out to your mother or your mother-in-law, or maybe even your pediatrician or obstetrician, they may not know as much about helping you with breastfeeding as a lactation consultant does. That's what they're trained to do, and they can help you resolve your breastfeeding issue.
So should I keep trying to breastfeed even if I'm stressed and it's hard? So I think only you can answer that question. Breastfeeding is hard and it's really demanding, especially with our time and our energy. But if you hate it, you should stop doing it. You can also try to incorporate more support to see if it makes it a little bit better. Having somebody have some time with the baby away from you actually really helps to refill your cup. It's so easy to get depleted while you're breastfeeding and forget that your mental health is actually really important to your whole family and especially your baby. So it's okay if breastfeeding doesn't work for you or it doesn't work for you anymore. Any amount of milk that you give your baby is a huge gift. And they also want to have a healthy, happy mom who's enjoying spending time with their family. So the decision to stop breastfeeding is really kind of a big one, and I think a lot of times people will consider, is this the right time to stop, for a while before they actually do. But your baby will be okay and you'll be okay no matter what you do. A really good person to ask about this would be a pediatrician.
After you start solids, what we call complementary feeding, your baby's main nutrition is still coming from their milk. So I would not expect that the volume of milk that they're taking in is going to substantially decrease once you start solids. The solids pathway depends a lot on the baby, on the route that you choose, and on what your pediatrician is recommending is the right choice for you. And you might have to pivot and adjust. Some babies do really well with purees initially. Some babies do better feeding themselves. And figuring out what's right for your baby is the right tool. But don't expect that right at the start they're going to be consuming a large volume. I say that partly to reassure you, because social media is filled with these videos of kids going to town on a giant piece of broccoli or on like a drumstick. And for most babies, as a pediatrician, I can tell you, for most babies, that's not the way it works. There is just a learning curve to it. If you think about all of the oromotor skills that are involved in learning to eat, that just takes time. Those are skills that you want your baby to develop over time. So it's okay if your baby is not one of those social media babies. What gear do I really need to bring with me? If you're going to be out without your baby for several hours and you're expressing milk, you're breastfeeding, then I recommend traveling with a portable pump like this one. It's really important not to miss feeds. Missing feeds risks affecting your milk supply. So if you think that you are going to be out for several hours, having some way to express the milk is really important. You may be thinking right now, I'm exhausted. How do I find my village? But I know someone who can help you navigate exactly that.
Mama Glow and Momcozy have developed a toolkit just for you as you navigate your feeding journey. It's full of tips, tools, resources, and everything you need to feel supported along the way, and for those who are supporting you to be able to do it the right way. Am I doing a good job?
You are doing a great job.
You are doing a great job.
You are doing a great job.
You are doing a great job.